Coastline. Since September of this past year, at least 19 homes in Buxton have fallen into the water. And in Rodanthe, the memories are still fresh in residents' minds. Live on the ground for us with the latest is Fox Weather's Katie Byrne. She was there yesterday. The weather looked pretty good. She's in Buxton, North Carolina. Katie, how goes it this afternoon?
Hi, Bob. Well, it's not a total wash of a beach day. You can see the sun's out, but it is very windy. It's kind of blowing that sand around, too. The National Weather Service warning swimmers about the risk of dangerous rip currents and big waves. But the biggest concern could be another house collapse. Take a look at this one right behind me. It's been submerged in the water for, I think, months now is what locals are saying. And it's kind of slanted. You can see it just kind of sinking deeper into the sand, just completely submerged into the surf there. This home used to have homes on either side of it. This was a whole street that now looks like it's part of the ocean. In fact, these homes that were once waterfront and are now in the water used to have hundreds of feet of sand in front of them. That's what homeowners who bought these houses in the 70s tell me. There used to be a dune system, a boardwalk, all kinds of things that aren't there anymore as we've watched this coastline changing. This house, though, kind of looks like it's, I want to say, one storm or one big wave away from potentially being the next to fall, which we unfortunately know is a story that's played out for really the last 8-9 months or so. We've been watching since September house after house collapse after relentless waves, coastal erosion, a huge concern here in this neighborhood. And I've been talking to people who are still coming out to rent nearby houses. There are still renters in some of these houses not too far away from the one that you're looking at. And listen, the local residents and the homeowners will tell you, please come back. We still need that business to help get back up on our feet. And these people who are used to coming every year, they don't want to, miss out on that opportunity. They want to be able to help those homeowners while they're really needing the business.
It's tough to see the houses like this, especially for the owner's standpoint. It's especially that one right there. That one's been there for a while. The one we have is a little farther back off, and that's okay for right now. But as you see, some of these people they're trying to make it work. But I don't know. That one's standing pretty well, but you can see that the waves are starting to crash on that. But it's still a beautiful place.
Jared and his family visiting here from Virginia. One house that they used to stay at is actually gone because of those collapses we've seen. And it's been a busy stretch, a busy year for folks as they're preparing for hurricane season, which we're now in, plus tourist season. A lot of homeowners who have waterfront homes have actually been hiring local contractors to pick these houses up, move them further away from the water. Plus, we have beach nourishment projects underway right now. There's one happening about 4 miles north of us in Avon that's set to pump sand back onto the beaches there and here in Buxton as soon as next month. So that is good news for people, but they're not waiting around for it. Some folks are still trying to do what they can, adding pilings onto these houses to try to shore them up and keep them safe and just kind of watching what the ocean does. But on top of the renters, Bob, people who are visiting just for family vacations, a lot of these houses nearby are actually being rented by those crews who are helping with those dredging projects. The Great Lakes crews are here, and they're staying in some of these houses as they work on pushing that sand back onto the beaches here.
Yeah, it makes sense, too. And it's just a small little strip. I remember your report yesterday. It's not like all the houses on the Outer Banks around there are dropping into the water. It's just that one little stretch. The rest of them are doing just fine, right?
Yeah, we spoke with Dare County's Board of Commissioners chairman yesterday, Bob Woodard, who pointed out that where we are in Buxton is 2 miles of 100 miles of beaches they have on the Outer Banks. So it's just a small little snapshot of what's happening here. They're really taking the brunt of this coastal erosion. But if you go north of here, you'll hit towns like Nags Head, Kitty Hawk, Kill Devil Hills, where they're not seeing a scene play out like this.
Right. Currituck, Duck, all those areas up there, they look pretty good. So, yeah, I'm not too concerned about the areas up north. But, Katie, sunscreen. Now, I mean, you got the pure sunshine on you right now, so make sure you're wearing your sunscreen.
Farmer's tan. It's official. I'm going to have it for the rest of the year.
I made that mistake once in my life. Again, never again. But Katie Byrne out there in the Outer Banks in Buxton, North Carolina. Great report, Katie. Thank you.